If you're a physio trying to grow online and you're struggling and you blame the fact that you don't have a massive following as the main reason, then I'm sorry to say, but it's not. Most physios fail long before the number of followers that they have ever comes into play, and that's what I'm going to break down in this video. Let's first get clear on what failure really means. So in my mind, in the online context, failure doesn't mean that you post videos that don't get millions of views or that your page isn't growing by thousands of followers per week. Like, getting small amounts of view counts and your follower numbers growing gradually, very, very normal starting out. That's by no means a failure. In my mind, what a real failure when you start out online is when you follow no coherent strategy, when you're basically posting inconsistently, there's no coherent messaging, and as a result, you get no traction. And this lack of results leads you to thinking that, okay, the online space just doesn't work, it's all a scam. And that's because you have no clarity and no strategy. And in my mind, that is what the real failure is. So what we're going to try to do in this video is get you a little bit more clarity on what that strategy can look like, so building an online income can actually become a realistic possibility for you. The vast majority of physios struggle when they try to grow online because they think of it as a direct extension of their in-person work. Here are three of the most common mistakes that I see when physios try to grow their online presence. So the first one you can see on screen here is waiting to be ready. The amount of physios that I've spoken to who have told me that they are waiting to get another cert or another qualification, or they want to get a little bit more experience under their belt before they take the leap and start offering their services online. In my mind, once you have your physiotherapy degree, a little bit of experience under your belt, you have all of the skill set that you need to deliver an effective online physiotherapy service. In reality, the clients that you work with online, they don't care about the letters that you have after your name or the certs or diplomas that you've done in online business. In reality, the only way to actually learn how to deliver an effective online physio service is to learn by doing. So waiting until you're ready, it's a cop out in my mind. It's just a form of procrastinating because you're afraid of taking that leap and trying something new. The second main mistake I see when physios start to transition online is in their content. They primarily focus on sharing general tips and nice, useful exercises in their content, which is all well and good, okay? But in reality, it's not going to be scroll stopping or speak to anyone directly. The whole goal of our online content is to position ourselves as a trusted authority within our niche. We want to become the go-to person in the mind of our ideal client for the specific problems that they have. So, for example, if you're helping new mums with regaining core confidence, for example, if you're helping rugby players return from ACL surgery, for this group of people, we want to become a trusted authority. So we want to speak about the unique system that we use, our unique frameworks, our unique thought processes that help these ideal clients get the outcomes that they're looking for. So not just general tips and exercises, but more to do with the unique system that we use and the unique leadership that we provide to help these people get the outcomes that they're looking for. Okay, third mistake, and this is a big one that I see physios making when they start to transition online, and it is just avoiding the whole sales conversation. I mean, at the end of the day, we are healthcare providers. We're not salespeople. So, I mean, it's natural. We've never received any formal sales training, more than likely. And if you look online, you know, there's so many cliches around the ideas of sales, thinking that it's almost a cringy, like pushy side of business, when in reality, the mental reframe that I would have and that I teach in the remote physio mentorship on sales is reframing selling as serving. Because if you're somebody who confidently believes in the value that you can provide to your ideal clients, and if you think that if your ideal clients engage in your service, they'll genuinely get incredible outcomes, then it is a part of your duty to confidently provide this opportunity to these ideal clients and sell your service. So instead of thinking of sales as something where you're taking money from others, in reality, what you're doing, if you're very confident in the value that you provide, you're just providing a great opportunity to these people to take steps towards the direction that they want to go. And all of a sudden, once we make this subtle mindset shift, that whole mental association and resistance to sales tends to fade away. So instead of thinking of sales as something where we're taking from others, in reality, we're serving people. We're providing them with this very beneficial opportunity. In general, it's very easy to blame things like the algorithm and the lack of reach of your posts and the lack of your follower size as reasons why you're not growing online. And obviously, a lot of these things are ultimately out of your control. So, in my mind, over focusing on them is simply a way of protecting our egos in the pursuit of growing our business. In my mind, it's a far more fruitful practice to scrutinize the things that are within our control. And one of those big things is the quality of questions that we ask in pursuit of growing our business. So instead of asking the surface level, kind of shallow question of how do I grow online, I think it's more useful to dig a little bit deeper to ask the higher quality questions that will actually move the needle for your business growth. And some of those would include, who exactly is it I want to help? What are the specific problems I want to solve for these people? What are the motivating factors for these people? What specific things can I provide in my service to really help them get the outcomes that they want? So if we can take the emphasis of our growth online off the things that are outside of our control in terms of like follower numbers, the amount of likes we get on posts, and we put them on providing a kick-ass service and asking really high quality questions to make sure that we can provide that service. It means the ball's back in our court and we can continue to move that needle forward with the growth of our business. If you're somebody who wants to take real steps forward with growing your online physio business in 2026, here are three of the first steps that you can take to do so. Step one is a massive one. It is to decide clearly your niche and the outcome that you want to provide for these people. So, a niche is basically a combination of two things. It's a specific group of people with a specific problem. So, some examples of this could include runners with knee pain, it could be new mums with pelvic pain, it could be middle aged men with chronic low back pain, for example. So, you get the idea. It's a specific group of people with a specific problem. And this can be chosen, of course, based on your own experiences, your own education, your own interests, like the beneficial results that you've gotten previously with these subsets of people. But also, it's important to choose your niche based on what makes sense from a business viability standpoint. So, this is the kind of two pronged approach that we take in the mentorship to deciding who your individual niche should be in terms of deciding what groups align with you from a personal interest standpoint, but also what groups make most sense from a business viability standpoint. So once we get very clear on the niche that we're serving and the specific outcomes that we want to provide for these people, what it means really is that all of this specificity can inform our messaging in our content. So it means instead of putting out general content that's trying to speak to and appeal to everyone, we're able to really dig deeper and understand the motivating factors, the desires, the fears, the emotions of our ideal clients. And as a result, we can use this language and appeal to these things in our social media content. And this is what stops our content being just like nice educational content that's people scroll past, and instead has our ideal client stopping on our post thinking like, holy shit, like this physio gets me, he's speaking my exact language. Step two is to create one simple offer. My suggestion to you would be, when you're starting out online, is to create a simple one-to-one offer where you help people over a matter of weeks or months on a one-to-one basis. And I suggest this when you're starting out for two main reasons. The first one is so you can deeply understand what these clients need, because you're working with them on an individual level. You can get a deep understanding of what they need throughout each stage of the process. So it means that you can refine the service as you go on to make sure that a few months down the line, you're able to have a seamless service that provides like good, consistent results for clients. So that's point one. But the second side to that is, obviously, if you're working with clients on a one-to-one basis, they will have to, pay a little bit more than they would as if compared to if it was in a group context, let's say. So it means from a business standpoint, you're able to generate some more upfront cash flow for all your efforts in getting your business off the ground. So yeah, step two, create one clear offer and then you can start selling. Step three is then to use your social media content to position yourself as a trusted authority within your niche. Instead of sharing generic tips and exercises online, with your content, what you want to do is show that you deeply understand the problems of your ideal client and also show that your unique solution is effective in getting the outcomes that they want. I've worked with physios at every stage of their online business journey, from those who are starting from absolute scratch to those who are already running fully functioning online physio businesses. So what I'm saying here, it's not just high in the sky theory, it's the patterns that I see again and again. So if you're a physio who has ambitions of starting to earn online and any of this has hit home, maybe you already have social media accounts and you've started to make content, but you've seen very little traction. Maybe you want to start working online and discover all of the freedom that is involved in working from your laptop, but maybe the online space just feels completely out of your depth. Completely get where you're at. And I've created a free training that goes into more depth of the next steps that you can take to actually start growing your online physio business in 2026. You will find the link to that free training in the description for this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.